Welcome back to the Blue Collar Trade Show, where real people share real stories about building, fixing, leading, and living with purpose. I'm Troy, and I'm here with the crew, Chad, Jim, Marissa. Each week we dig into lessons, have laughs, and hard-won wisdom from the folks who keep America running. Let's get into it. All right, welcome to the Blue Collar Trade Show, everybody. I am pleased to announce that we have Miss Heather Ripley from Ripley PR. Sorry. Thank you for coming on to our show with us, Heather. I have a bad head cold, so that's why I screwed it up. So I'll just start right there.
Sorry.
I'm taking, yeah, that's all right. I'm taking cough drops as we talk. So, but I'm super excited I'm going to learn. I have a whole bunch of questions. I can't wait. I've never talked to someone that focuses on what you do as well as you do it. So I'm excited so I could probably steal the whole show with questions for you, but that's not the point of the show. So, Jim, we'll talk about that. Marissa works for us at the Blue Collar, and Chad runs our 1 hour air conditioning heating down in South Florida, plus a discount water heaters. So, so again, thank you for coming on the show. Heather, here we go. Yay, Heather.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. I'll just start us off with this, and we'd like to keep the show as loosey-goosey as we can and just kind of keep it, just a casual conversation. But just tell us a little, I've got lots of questions for you, but just tell us a little bit about you and kind of how you got here at Ripley PR.
Yeah. So my background is in marketing. I have over the years worked with lots and lots of skilled trades, construction and manufacturing and different things. And in 2008, I actually worked with Jim Nichols at Clockwork, and together we sold some franchises, had people entering the franchise brands 1 hour, Benjamin Franklin and Mr. Sparky, and helped put on discovery days and all of that. But it was there that I found out that contractors and home service business owners are some of the most savvy business owners I've ever met, and they really understand marketing. But one thing they don't quite understand, and it's still kind of the Wild West, is PR. And so at Clockwork, I kind of started teaching some of our franchise owners how to do PR in their local markets and how to get on TV, how to get speaking engagements at their local chambers and things like that. And just found out that that was a really good way for them to stand out and dominate in their market. Because as you guys know, everybody seems to be doing the same things. Great truck wraps, great door hangers, and you're competing with lots of companies. So PR is one way they can stand out.
What percentage of them? So it's interesting, right? So did you know, so you came from a marketing background, and marketing and PR does kind of overlay, but they're not the same thing, right? So was it at Clockwork that you kind of said, these are two different things and I want to go a different direction? And
Yeah,
tell us how that happened.
it kind of happened organically.
Or was it Jim said it was his idea, but I don't know if I believe him.
And then she dumped me. She dumped me.
Yeah, I don't need you anymore.
I'll give him the credit. No, it does go hand in hand, and PR is a branch of marketing. And a lot of people think PR is just feel good press releases or something, but it's really to generate leads. And we discovered at Clockwork that PR and having our current franchise owners tell the success stories, tell, how a franchise brand changed their life. That sold more franchises than us saying, hey, we've got a great opportunity for you. And it's the same with any business. A home service business is selling expertise and thought leadership and credibility and trust. And PR, getting somebody else to say great things about you, is one of the easiest ways to build trust before you ever knock on their door as a technician. It's getting them to call you because you already have that credibility and trust.
So what do you think it is that keeps people from seeing them to be, because it's the same thing, but it's two separate things. So where's the disconnect in most business owners' minds? Not just is your business, tell us about your business itself just real quick. Is it lots of different kinds of clients all over the country and the world?
We specialize in the trades. So
Okay.
what that looks like for Ripley PR is we do have B2C contractor clients, everything from HVAC, plumbing, and electric to roofing or lawn care, window replacement, kitchen remodels, anything in a home. We also work with commercial contractors, commercial construction companies, engineering companies, architects, anybody in building trades. And then we work with manufacturers, some that you guys know, Bradford White, Modine. We've worked with Linux over the years. And then B2B tech companies like your Service Titans, House Call Pro. So everybody that we work with touches the trades in some capacity, whether it's our home service trades or commercial construction trades or automotive. It's we're kind of known as the agency in the skilled trades.
So I'll ask one more question and I'll let others join in on this conversation. All right. But so how did you, because starting a business like that, it takes some courage, right? It takes some money, it takes some thought. And, so when you decided to leave the corporate world and go on to start this business, how was that? How was that decision? And where did you find your first clients? How did that happen? I mean, because that's the hardest part.
Yeah. Well, thinking back in 2009, I was at Clockwork. I knew Jim Abrams wanted to sell the company. We were brainstorming on the marketing team, like, what can we do that's big? I ended up getting them on Celebrity Apprentice. I knew the goal for
That was you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So she's met the Trumpster.
I didn't get to go. I left right before
It was
that.
your idea and you didn't get to go? Well, that doesn't seem right.
Now, I knew that they were going to sell. And so at that point, I was actually hired by a local agency. They wanted to start PR. They were a branding firm. And they said, PR, can you come here and help us sell PR? It was there that I realized that most agencies don't have a specialty. They'll take anything, any client, because the clients are often willing to pay an agency to learn their business. And I just thought that was weird and wrong.
Yeah.
So I ended up moving from Florida back to my home state of Tennessee. I worked for an agency here, same thing, generalist agency, trying to find clients, any industry. It didn't make any sense to me. So I knew that with the people I knew in the home service space, I knew that there was a need for it and that I knew people would pay for somebody that knew the industry, knew the challenges, the terminology, all of that. So it was a leap of faith, but not really. I was pretty confident. I left my job at an agency in 2013. A month later, launched Ripley. And then I think it took 45 days to get clients 1, 2, and 3. And 2 of them were home service businesses.
Yeah. So you found the niche within the niche, right? Which is, Chad likes to say, the niche within the niche. So
I've never said that once in my life. So Heather, I agree with you, Heather, about PR. I mean, some of the best relationships that I've made is just bumping into people and talking to them and having a regular conversation and we get into what each other does. So where do you think most companies get it wrong when they try to do what they think is their own PR and have very little success?
That's a good question. And the one thing I failed to answer part of your question, Troy, that kind of goes into this is one of the first things I do when I'm presenting to a group of home service businesses is I show them this quadrant. It has advertising, marketing, PR, and branding. And a lot of times people put all of those things in one bucket and they try to do all of those things with maybe one marketing coordinator. And they're very different. As you guys know, marketing can be everything. Your website, your social media, it could be your uniforms, your hat, whatever. Advertising is paid media. So you get to control 100% of everything that's said, how big your logo is, the messaging, how often people see it. PR is different because you lose a little bit of control. You're trying to tell your story through someone else. In our case, it's the media. So we are educating the media on things that our clients are experts at. You know, how do you keep your pipes from freezing? How do you prepare your home for vacation? How often should you check your carbon monoxide filters? Just anything like that. We're making it news because let's say a TV reporter, they're going to look at it like, why does my audience care? It's almost like a PSA. They're bringing in an expert to talk about these things that you might think as a home service business, people don't want to hear about that, but they do. They don't know. So having an expert come in and talk about those things gives credibility because those journalists or those reporters, people just trust them. They see them on TV all the time and they come with trust. So when you're the company they choose to interview, you automatically get that trust. So the problem or the challenge that most people make is not separating the two and maybe issuing a press release for a $99 drain cleaning or something that's not a PR message. It's a promotion. And so you can test yourself if you send out a press release and the journalist responds, maybe they don't respond at all, or you have an advertising person contact you back, then you know that was too promotional. That's not a PR piece. So it's getting that education piece and balancing kind of the spin of how can we spin this marketing message into an educational piece.
No, I appreciate that, you know, it should be more of a, like you said, PSA rather than, "Oh, by the way, we're doing this thing for 99 bucks too." So yeah, no, I get that. So
Should the
so
2 things never be intertwined? Can the 2 things be, or is it always just, like, informational only and
It can be. It has to be positioned in the right way. So what we do when we're doing a press release, um, let's say it's a charitable giving. Let's say you're donating $5,000 to a children's hospital. The easiest way is to put yourself in the journalist view of they're receiving a press release that says Benjamin Franklin Plumbing or 1 Hour Heating and Air donated $5,000 to ABC Children's Hospital. When you see that message, you automatically think it's kind of they're patting themselves on the back. If you spin it and say ABC Hospital receives $5,000 donation from 1 Hour Heating and Air, then it sounds different. It hits different. It feels like, the recipients now telling the world, like, hey, look how generous this company is. That's how we slip in some promotional messages without it seeming over the top marketing, if that makes sense.
no, that makes perfect
Interesting.
sense, the distinction between the 2. I mean, because we were doing Children's Miracle Network for a long time, and it was always 1 hour, you know, showing the big checks and all this toys and stuff that we were bringing into the hospitals, and it always fell absolutely, completely flat, and, I at that point, I was just doing it legitimately for the kids because we weren't really
Mhm.
getting anything out of it, but it wasn't Children's Miracle Network or the Cleveland Clinic putting our name out there saying, "Look what they did for us." So, yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's an
get it.
interesting nuance that you just change who's mentioning it,
No, it
and
makes
there's they're
sense.
both right. They're both right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you should absolutely do it. And we have clients who say, I want to promote everything, every piece of charity that we're doing, not for us, but to guilt the other people in our market to do it too.
Yeah,
Because that works. Having one company be really giving in the community does inspire other people to give. And then also, if you're donating to a smaller charity, they probably don't have PR. So you're actually
Yeah.
doing more good by giving them some free publicity and telling people what they do.
yeah.
So it
Well,
is something that you should do. It's just how you craft the message.
And
Take
that's where
a
you all come
skill
in.
there that's not a true
Yeah.
marketing skill.
And one
So
thing that one thing that I remember, and still I see it all the time where I live now, is the all of a sudden it's getting into storm season, so all of a sudden there's an electrician on the news talking about generators, home generators, and how they can help you, and they become the expert. In fact, they always call them, let's bring in our electrical expert, right, to talk about this. And you see it all the time. And I remember the first couple times that I saw that was, I mean, you would help organize a lot of that. And it was kind of cool to see. But and some of the ones still doing it are people that you probably got to do it for the first time. So that's kind of cool. So
Yeah, and we coach our clients how to do those interviews so they're invited back because a lot of times they don't want to have to search and find an expert. So they'll say, "What else can you talk about? Give me a list."
right.
And they
right,
have
yeah.
you in their little Rolodex.
So a couple things there, but one thing. So I don't know if you know this, or I don't know if this is PR relatable, but um, a customer of Chad's life has been changed forever because of a super tune-up they did for $79. Is that good? Just kidding. I don't know. It probably never really happened, but
It could be.
could be.
Tell me more.
I like it. I'm trying to think of how do we spin a $79 super tune-up into something almost unbelievable. Chad?
I think
Yeah.
too, as like a viewer though, I would call that company one just because I'm assuming that wherever, the journalist or whoever, like at the show, like they did their background, and so definitely they're really credible. And then also on the charity and the donations, I would be like, oh, they have such like good values or morals, or they're so kind. So then I'd want to call them and use them and give them, be their customer because and like pay it back and be like, oh, they helped here, so like let's help them, and then refer them to other people too. So it's like you do something good and then it all just like comes full circle.
Look at that, Heather. You got another convert just like that.
Boom.
It helps with
Well, big,
recruiting too, because we've had clients for years and years who like to print on plaques all the media coverage that they get. And they'll put it strategically so that technicians coming in for interviews or CSRs or whatever will see all of it and they can mention it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
the news contacts us all the time for interviews. And they
Yeah.
want to work for a company that gives back and that people know and they want to feel proud.
yeah.
So it does help with recruiting too.
Well, ultimately, people like to work with and for people they like and trust. And it's building credibility. And I remember, so when we sold our business up north and I came and worked for the corporate side of the world there, which I think you were gone by the time I came in. The lady that took over your position, basically, I remember her saying all the time that that news reporters, they they're always looking for that next story, and sometimes there's nothing to talk about, so they go to their electrician and plumber and go, "What do you got? I need a story for the 5 o'clock news tonight." If I, you know what I mean. So so having PR firm like yourself, where you have those local connections with the newspapers and television stations and so on, where you can tee up your clients to do more of these. I don't know if you well, how much is too much? I mean, is there a certain number of times that somebody should be on TV on Channel 5 News?
There's not too much.
Yeah,
No, you can bug them. You can spam them. And we've seen it happen too many times where people send a super promotional message far too many times and they just kind of get thrown into this black hole.
yeah,
Um, but we've had clients invited to come in every week for an in studio segment and they're like, "Can you give us 3 months worth of content?" And so we'll do it. We'll run through everything. And ideally, we are working with people who offer more than one service. So they're not always talking about plumbing. They're rotating. Maybe it's plumbing, then HVAC, then electrical, and then plumbing again. So it's something new all the time. But, it's April. So whatever they're talking about right now on the news, next April, it's a new story again.
right.
So you can revisit it. You're gonna
Yeah.
have a totally different audience.
Well, I can
It's
certainly,
kind of like,
I can certainly see the value in what you bring to the table, you and your company, or because, you know, when I think of PR and everything that I work for the same corporate locate or the same corporation you did, but I got there a couple years after you left too. But their idea of PR was show up at the home shows and job fairs and things of that nature. And we did. I mean, I showed up to all of them. I had a lot of fun, but I really didn't get many leads from it, you know. And so it sounds like you guys have a whole new take on it that is way more valuable. So,
Yeah. And we have clients that are successful with the home shows. We have clients that don't go.
right.
Um, so we can help with some of that. But, you know, speaking at your local chamber and getting invited to some local events will pay off a lot more than maybe having a booth and being in a crowded place.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Like, if you got if a small company, I mean, those are the guys that really need to start doing the PR, right? And they don't have $5,000 to go down to the Children's Miracle Network and do it that way. But I guess there's some things for free that you can do that just cost time and energy. What are some things like that?
Yeah, that's a good question too. You know, PR is not paid. So of course people pay us to be their there's wouldn't even call it a spokesperson, but we're pitching the media for them.
Right.
People can do that themselves. I don't know, you know, some will have luck, some won't. But if you hire somebody with a PR background and they get it, they can pitch the media and be always looking for opportunities to insert your name into stories.
Yeah.
So that's free. There the cost comes into play when you want a strategy and you want to be positioned as a certain um way, because that's more than just a press release and pitching it. It's a long game where, you know, maybe a former owner or a former GM ran the company into the ground. You got a bad reputation, you're trying to fix it, you're trying to replace it. Some of those things are where you need a professional to craft a strategy to dig you out and repair your reputation. But as far as, you know, just PR goes, I tell people all the time, the day you open your door for business is the day you start PR. Now, you should do it. Write press releases. Introduce yourself to the media. Tell them what you can speak on, why you're different, why people should hire you.
Mhm.
But at some point, you're probably going to need a professional to keep your name out.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, hell, I wouldn't want to go through all the trouble of that sounds exhausting putting together all those letters and things that I got that I know. And then it never lands on anybody's ears because I wasn't promoting myself the right way. So, yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And our team, we're always watching for trends. So something that happens in Brooklyn isn't just interesting in Brooklyn. It's going to be interesting throughout the country most times, unless it's super weather related. So we're watching all of that, and our media relations team is watching the weather, watching the news constantly to piggyback on national trends and then bring them locally. Have a local expert. We have clients all over the nation, so we have somebody they can speak to pretty much all over. So we're always looking for those opportunities too, not just actual hard news that the company has.
So who, was doesn't seem like that long ago when the news was newspapers, radio, and TV, right? And now those are less important than they used to be. So what is considered news? Where are others? How much does that change? What do the outlets look like?
Yeah.
It
That
has
you're
it has changed, not as drastically as you would think though. TV is still important. When we get our home service clients on a local news broadcast, they get leads from it.
yeah.
Um, and often they can get access to the actual video and promote that on their social media and on their website, things like that. Newspaper, as you know, it's kind of dying. But there are still independent
I've
newspapers out
never
there.
seen one.
Yeah, I'm like, I see when they share some articles on Facebook, but I don't know last time I've seen an actual hard copy of a newspaper, but then you have to pay to even be able to read the article, so you can only see the
Yeah.
first half
Anyway.
paragraph.
Yeah, so we still get some news for our clients in newspapers. We watch for them to share it on Facebook, and then we'll share the story on the clients' pages. But TV for the home service businesses, TV and radio are really good. And then there are some local podcasts too. So if there are local respectable podcasts, we'll pitch those. And then speaking engagements, awards. We're always looking for anything that adds credibility and trust to the company. One thing we haven't mentioned yet is GEO. And I don't know if you guys are talking about this at all, but AI search is hasn't replaced Google or anything, but you do see the numbers growing, and people are searching for who is the best heating contractor near me, um, who is the best plumber in Sarasota. And it's interesting to see who comes up and why they come up. Because instead of a list like Google gives you, AI is giving you one name, unless you say who are the top three. And so we're doing GEO audits for our clients, and we're finding out where they show up and why. And then our PR addresses some of those things within quotes or within the text of the press release to get them to show up in that number one spot.
So you found a way to bend the curve on that a little bit, because that's kind of the big thing. Is it's easy to figure it out. Everybody's kind of cracked the code on SEO and PPC, right? Traditional stuff, but this is a whole new game, right? That not everybody understands.
It's crazy, and I wouldn't say that we're experts. We are learning too, but what we found is AI likes credibility, which is third-party mentions. That's PR.
Yeah.
It likes trust. So that could be awards. It could be third-party mentions. It could be your company founder speaking at industry events. And the credibility and authority can also be your company founder being quoted or spoken about in a trade magazine, because the trade magazines, interestingly, are really highly prioritized by AI. So even if you don't serve a national audience, if you're quoted or you win Contractor of the Year or something like that in a trade journal, that can make you show up high in the AI search. So it's interesting. I wouldn't say we have it figured out, but we are learning. We're experimenting with Ripley. So every day we're looking at things and how our blogs impact it. We're looking at our press releases, podcasts like this. Where we're seen as the experts in something. That's what AI is looking at. So it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. It's amazing.
Well, your business is gonna skyrocket after this, because we just found out last week that we went
Hang on
over
your
a million viewers.
Did
I
you
think I
really?
read that. I think it said 1 million,
That's
something like that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good for
No,
you.
not quite 1 million. But
well, the 900,000 was Jim and Deanna watched.
well, yeah.
They really like the show.
Oh, that's funny.
So when someone sits down with you, so they come on, so you pique their interest, and so what does that, pardon me, what does the onboarding look like, right? So when you sit down and go, because you need to understand them as much as they need to understand you, right? So there's not a one size fits all, I assume. So how do you approach a new client and what they need and what they're looking for and budgets and this and that? I mean, what does that kind of look like at a high level?
Most of the time, our strategies will be similar to something we've done. But what I like to do is often a marketing person will contact us, especially for a bigger company. It's the marketing person. I'm not really talking to the owner. But in a mid-size to a smaller one, I will talk directly to the owner, and they will tell me their goals. I want to exit 3 to 5 years. I want to purchase some other companies, maybe some struggling ones, in the state or out of the state, or I have plans to expand. I want to pass down the business to my son, whatever it is. I'll ask a lot of questions and find out what their goals are. sometimes when we talk to the owner, their team doesn't know.
Right.
So we're kind of, we're always under NDAs, but
Sometimes the owner doesn't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. But we're crafting a strategy that hits their goals now, which is growing their business usually. Sometimes it's to repair a broken reputation problem. Um, with PE, it's often repairing reputation problems. But whatever it is, we're crafting a strategy to fix it and help them hit their goals in 18 months, 24 months, whatever. So we have worked ourselves out of clients a lot because we know they're trying to sell and we help them sell and we're done.
They're gone.
Um,
Yeah.
that happens a lot. But usually it's something like, I want to double my business in 2 years, or I want to start positioning my son as the spokesperson and the face of the company or something like that.
So is it just PR? I mean, you mentioned the 4 quadrants, right? Marketing, PR, branding, paid advertising. So do you just focus on the one, or do you help with all 4?
We do earned, which is PR, and
Yep.
owned, which is your blog, your social media, anything that you own and you control the message. We don't get into paid ads. We don't get into website building, and we don't do branding. So our core specialty is earned, but a lot of times we will help with some of the owned too if they don't have a professional doing it, because
Yeah.
owned can help earned. If you have a really good
That's what I was kind of wondering. I bet there's a
Yeah.
lot of back and forth. Yeah.
yeah, and the clients that we have that um are not like me and are not afraid to be on a selfie camera or give tips on video and things like that. If they're doing that on owned, their chances of getting on TV are better because a
Yeah.
lot of times those anchors and reporters want to know what somebody looks like, how they sound, are they professional, do they have it, they don't want somebody too buttoned up, too polished,
Right.
but they don't want to look like an
Like
idiot for
Jim,
10
like
minutes.
too cool, like Jim Nichols.
Right. Right.
Too good. Okay, that's interesting. All right. So if you bring on someone, I mean, so of all the things, right? So if you had a brand new, so we deal with on the blue collar side, we deal with a lot of startup companies, right? Brand new, right, Marissa? Where they just maybe they bought a franchise and they just are getting it going, or they're just starting from something from scratch. But most of the time, it's a franchise of some sort that they bought, and they've been handed the keys, and the franchise system says, "There you go. Good luck. Call us if you need anything." Right? You've been there.
Mhm.
What do you I mean, so what? And they don't have endless amounts of money, right? So where would you suggest to them to spend their money? What's the first thing that they should be doing?
So, we do work with a lot of franchisors too, and I always recommend to the franchisor, regardless of your goal, franchise development or franchisee support, make sure that you're giving some sort of grand opening package to your new owners because telling the community that they're going to be there, they're from there, as you guys know in the franchising space, these aren't corporate entities moving into your market. It's a local business owner. They need to support them.
Yeah.
They're from there, whatever their story is. We like to do a grand opening announcement saying coming soon or whatever grand opening event. Tell a little bit of the story of the owner. Why did they buy into that franchise? What was attractive to them? What do they hope to do in the community? How many jobs will they create? Anything like that. And then pitch that to their local media. Put it on social media, put it on LinkedIn, all of that stuff. I- Planting the seed and introducing them to the media will pay back either right then or later, sometimes both, because they'll remember you. Um, Most of the service franchises that we work with, we pitch them as an expert to talk about X, Y, and Z over the next 6 months. So that way they get that initial story and then sometimes they'll come back 3 months later and say, "Hey, you said it was whatever season for pest control. Can you come on air and talk about some of those things?"
Yeah,
So
So the
it's so
strategy's kind of similar, but it really depends on the franchise model too.
for sure. Yep. How many well, go ahead, Jen.
no, I
No, go
see,
ahead.
like, you have the social media platforms, and I see a lot of air conditioning companies, plumbing companies, like, whatever, but they're all using that as a form of PR as well, where they're taking videos of themselves out on a job. How effective is that type of PR? Because it's becoming extremely popular, but I'm not really sure how effective it is.
I think it depends on the personality. If you're forcing it, it might not be good.
Mm,
If you're comfortable doing it, it could be really good. I've seen both, and we have clients that we've recommended it to, and then we saw the video and we're like, oh, maybe maybe don't put that out there. Um, but we had one client, long time client, who during COVID was videoing everything, like pretty flowers. And oh my gosh, their social media just blew up during that time because everybody was sheltered and all this stuff,
mhm.
and they were just posting all over the place. But the cool thing about it was their van was always in the picture. They were promoting without
Without saying,
promoting.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we got him invited on TV so many times during that period of time to talk about anything because the media just loved his post. And it was the company page, it wasn't his page.
Because it was a real guy, right? He was just a guy that had a business, is what they, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
So
do you think
hmm? It's like,
do you change like your guys' approach and model based off of your clients like personality or too and exactly what they're gonna do?
yeah, we try to get to know and then make a recommendation based on what we know about them. Yeah. And we do coaching too. So we do media coaching with clients. Um, I remember early on, I had somebody who gave an amazing interview. The content was great. Um, he was chewing gum and it kind of diminished the credibility a little bit. So I had to coach that.
Yeah. I'm just
And
annoyed.
people are gonna make mistakes, but
Yeah.
What's that, Chad?
I said, I'm just annoyed thinking about somebody chewing gum. You know what I
On
mean?
TV. So have you had it? So the other side of it, I think is interesting too. So tell a story, and you don't have to name names, but the so promoting yourself, PR, that's what we all want to talk about, right? But the other side of it is when someone gets into trouble or somebody, right, a bad accident happens or something where all of a sudden their van's in the picture, but it's because they just killed somebody on the highway,
Mhm.
right? How do you deal with that? I mean, that's a life-changing thing, right?
It is. And I tell all of the clients and all the prospective clients that it's not if bad happens, it's when. Because bad things happen to every company. They don't all hit the news, but sometimes they do. And what we found in 13 years of working with contractors is the ones that are doing proactive, positive PR, they're giving back to the community, they're sharing tips and um, expertise with homeowners, and the media likes them, they're not going to cover the bad stuff. And if they do, they're going to remove the company name. They're going to say a plumber was arrested. They're not going to make you look bad because they don't really do that on purpose. If they don't know you though, it's a fact.
Yep.
Where they
Yeah.
worked is a fact, so they
Right.
include it. But if
Wow.
they know you, they don't cover that kind of stuff. Our clients aren't chosen for the stings. In fact, our clients are often the good contractor that they're like, "Hey, we're gonna show 3 bad ones. Will you be the expert to talk about what they did wrong?" And sometimes they say no to that.
Sting.
But
Yeah, that's
That is
yeah,
another
so
one.
interesting.
Sting.
Because I watch those stings like crazy, right? And then I show them to my guys. I'm like, don't be this guy, right? But I'm like, that company's destroyed forever. There's no coming back from
Pretty bad. And I mean, we all know they trick you into saying bad things and everything. Sometimes they're just wrong. But um the the crisis stuff that's going to happen to everybody. I mean, I've seen everything from a house blowing up, technician being tired and making a mistake with the gas line.
Yeah.
You know, hit the news and it kind of goes away really fast. And I've seen unfortunately I've seen deaths where, you know, a technician is arrested for murder, or a technician is doing something terrible, DUIs, anything like that. We coach our clients how to mitigate the risk and hire based on core values and some other things. But we also teach them how to respond. So if something bad happens, you need an escalation chart within your company. Who do you tell? The media might find out. Who do we notify? And our team is usually working on a statement for the media. We have it ready. The client's attorneys have approved it. Everything's ready to go. And then nothing happens. And we love that. We didn't actually have to act on it. But if you guys notify us ahead of time, and you've been doing your job of doing proactive, positive PR, and the community loves you, it's going to go away a lot faster.
You just tell them to say, my boss told me not to talk to the media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do
Get your
actually
camera out
have
of my
to,
face.
we have a
My
little
boss said you
media
guys
talk.
are all crooked, so I'm not going to talk to you.
Fake news.
That's what Troy taught me to say.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So go ahead. Yeah.
So you work with obviously a ton of different companies. What's the kind of the most exotic kind of business that you deal with?
Exotic.
Oh gosh. So
Yeah, well, not exotic. I mean, just kind of different.
Tiger King or
different.
something? Yeah.
Okay.
Niche.
So we have Ripley PR, and then underneath I have 2 other agency brands. And they're very different, and this is why I did it this way instead of having everything under Ripley. We have Orange Orchard, which I launched in 2018, specializes in animal welfare foundations
Right.
and global. And then I have Adventure PR, which is like adventure travel kind of stuff. With Orange Orchard, we work with a 100-year-old foundation called the National Anti-Vivisection Society. And
What?
yeah, very few people know what the word vivisection is.
Vivisection.
It's a 100-year-old term.
Oh, we
What
got
is
a
it?
guess. Jim, what's your guess?
I'm not even going to venture a guess.
No,
No.
it's exotic. I don't know.
Do you know, Chad?
Oh, I have no
Oh.
idea.
I would imagine that's some sort of region, right? I don't know.
Well, it
Or
has
is
to
it
do with
like
animal testing.
Okay.
It's basically cutting open animals.
Oh,
And so their mission and our
that's
mission
awesome.
for them is to raise awareness of animals in laboratories and, you know, what is happening. And
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't know if you guys have seen the recent Beagle story where people were raiding this breeder. The Beagle dogs were being breeded for the labs, and people were breaking into this breeding facility and stealing the dogs. Well, anyway, that has nothing to do with our client, but we're using that as a national story to talk about the
Yeah.
client mission. So,
I'll be
Jim,
darned.
that's probably like way out there, and you didn't
That
expect,
is, yeah.
but we're trying to raise awareness for what this organization's mission is and get it talked about because it's a 100-year-old practice that we don't really need to do anymore.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear
You're not
that.
going to see that at a trade show, you know?
No,
Yeah.
hopefully not.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like those what is it, the ass? what's the dog and cat commercial where they're all in cages and chains?
ASPCA,
Yeah,
Oh,
or
it's like
whatever.
I
Yeah.
can't even watch it. It's like,
I
Yeah.
know. I'm like, where's my wallet?
oh.
No, that's yeah. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, more people that we visit have dogs than dog or cats. So it's very rare that we go in a house where there's not a pet.
Yeah.
So that's got to really resonate huge with the community.
Well, now you know the question they ask. Let me see your dog's Viva section, just to make sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to make sure you're taking good care of them. Is that a good question, Heather?
Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's
But
all
you
right? So
asked, and that was it's very,
No, that's
very
awesome.
different.
Yeah.
And
so what's the other one then? So that's what's the other? You said you had three.
adventure, adventure
Oh,
PR,
how does
and
that work?
that's
Yeah.
just launched that a few months ago, and it's on the adventure travel space. So, things like these tour companies that take you on these little expeditions, and we were contacted a couple months ago from an expedition company that gives tours of Mount Everest and stuff like that. It's pretty
You're
Are
gonna
you gonna
go?
go?
interesting. No,
Yeah.
no, it's not on my bucket list.
Well, that
Well,
so
I
you
saw
got
that you did earn your black belt. That's pretty exciting, huh?
Oh, that is so exciting.
ooh,
Oh
stand up
yeah.
and show us the move.
I train sometimes. I haven't. My husband would tell you I don't train enough, but I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu and Ishinru karate, and jiu-jitsu is a lot harder than karate is.
Do you have a dojo nearby?
Yeah,
I just
my
wanted-
husband owns a martial arts academy.
Oh,
So
really?
I leave this job and go help him there.
Aw.
It's
How
it's
is
crazy, but it's fun.
what PR firm do they use? Are they pretty good?
That's really cool. Sometimes we can tell when we have a woman badass on the show, and sometimes people are just badasses and they don't seem like they're
Yeah, that is
badass.
really cool.
Yeah.
Is there a karate move you can show us while you're sitting down?
Yeah,
Oh
kick your
gosh,
can
no.
Is there
Okay.
someone there you could flip
Sort of,
or hit?
sort of intimidating. Yes.
I don't know if I'll have any volunteers in the office.
They know better.
It's fun
Yeah.
though.
Well, that's for the next show then.
Yeah, well, I'll plan that.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite PR story? So when you're sitting around getting drunk with your friends at the dojo, what's your favorite PR story? And they say, tell us something fun that happened, or like the coolest PR story. Do you have any? What's your go-to?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, there's so many cool things that we do all the time that move the needle and helping people accomplish their goal, even if it's to sell a franchise to another franchise or to um, retire comfortably or something like that. Like that makes me proud. But I think my favorite was
That's life impactful stuff, right? It's the little things that,
it.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's what keeps me going. But I
yeah.
think my favorite has to be Celebrity Apprentice just because
Yeah.
they told us no so many times. And I was just like, no, I was persistent. They said no because they didn't want three brands. No, because it was a franchise. No, because we weren't in all 50 states. And I just remember going back and forth with the producers, like trying to sell them on the idea, and they kept saying no.
What was the final straw? What finally got that?
Oh, I don't remember. I think they were like, this person's not going to go away. We have.
There you go. Yeah.
Are they gonna say persistence, or maybe she
Yeah.
karate chopped him? Who knows?
Yeah.
I think the franchise argument was they didn't want unknowns. They didn't want to be. They said we're a popular household show. We want respectable companies, and with franchise owners, we don't really know what we're going to get. And we showed them with these brands, you do. We felony background check, all that stuff. So I think that made a difference. And then the fact that every home in the country has plumbing and HVAC hopefully. But I don't know, just hearing no that many times and then finally getting that yes, that's probably, yeah.
Do you,
Yeah.
do you,
Pretty awesome.
how do you think it? So you worked that hard to get them on the show. How do you think it turned out?
I think it was great. We
Yeah.
got the marketing data after the show. I think one of our brands was mentioned every 8 seconds. It was either verbally mentioned or you could see, Cyndi Lauper playing with the truck or I can't remember.
Brett Michaels.
Yeah,
Brett
wearing
Michaels.
a
Yeah.
Mr. Sparky shirt or something. Our brands were either visible or mentioned every 8 seconds. The websites crashed the next day.
Isn't that crazy?
Franchisees
Yeah.
were complaining that their websites were down. That it was a success. Jim Abrams sold the company a few months later. Was the goal.
It turned out well for Jim. I got a peek into his checking account that next day. He did all right. You don't need to worry about
He
it.
did all right with it.
Yeah, and I'm sure he flipped you over a pretty big, handsome check for all that work too. So
He actually, better than that, he actually hired Ripley PR when he launched
there you
his
go.
other franchise. So
There you
to
go.
me, that was
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome. There you go. Even better.
Speaks volumes.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
So is there a celebrity apprentice type of thing now that you would, if you could get one of your clients on in a similar situation, or is there something like almost like a pinnacle of that type of show?
I would like to get that company, that organization that I mentioned to you. I'd like to get them on 60 Minutes or something.
The
The animal
the
testing and talking
the
about what's really
vivisection?
going on, people don't know about anymore and all of that. I'm not working on anything that big. Over the years, we've had some smaller companies work toward having a reality show, which is,
Oh, really?
yeah, I mean, that whole world is not really what we do because that's paid. You're paying for a reality show, but,
Yeah,
and it's so scripted and everything, but, it's
they
interesting.
are. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, most of them
I'm just
are.
kidding.
Most of them are not a real.
See, I heard, actually, Heather, this might help you out because I heard all of the 60-minute producers watch every one of our podcasts.
That's awesome.
They should be calling you. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be getting
Unless there
here
even
from
like a
me.
Netflix documentary for
Yeah.
them or something.
Did you know
Mhm.
that what's that show on HGTV, House Hunters? Right?
Mhm.
The one that's been on forever and ever? That's a totally scripted show too. Did you know
Is
that?
it?
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
We had a
Even Deadliest Catch is scripted.
no, but the houses are already picked. It's already done. So a realtor friend of ours was on the show like 3 times. One time as a realtor, 2 times as like a pretend buyer, and you know what I mean, to kind of promote
Really?
herself.
Wow.
And so we had this house, and it wasn't even done being built yet. And they said, "Hey, can we use your house as one of our homes that we're kind of thinking about?" And they already owned the house. It was all just done, right? But
I'll be darned.
yeah.
So
So it was just funny.
how did they insult your house?
I
Walks
said
through.
only if you're nice. So our house, because it wasn't done, and I don't remember exactly what they didn't rip on it too much, but
Oh,
we didn't have a stripper pole or anything put in, so that was mostly the reason. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's a
No,
deal
but it
breaker.
was, they're all there's no like, at least in our case, and that's what they told us when they produced it, because they did it all in one day. Like, because it seems like it goes on forever, but it's all done in
Yeah, that's so crazy. I had no idea.
Crazy.
What's the worst PR story you had to fix?
Mm.
And did you fix it?
I don't know. The visit section thing's kind of
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that anymore.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The worst. Okay. So I've we're still working with this company. And when they first came on, the owner said, hey, privately, "Hey, I need to derail our kickoff call and tell you about this crisis we have." Like, oh, great. This technician was doing bad things to animals on video and posting it.
No.
Wow.
That goes against the whole your third PR firm.
Yeah.
That is that proof that, and I didn't even mention this earlier, but when I say it's not if something happens, it's when. Even the best companies, the greatest companies who do everything by the book, you can have some rogue employee do something stupid
Yeah.
that impacts your business that you're doing, and
Sure.
you're doing everything by the law, by the book, and then they do something stupid to bring your name into it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I don't think that the name was brought in at all, but that person had to be fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
but
that,
that just shows you, like, you can have the best company and something totally out of your control happen. Just being prepared for it is key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, having a process, right, to deal with it.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So let's go around the horn one more time with everybody's questions. And so, Jim, you go first.
All right. Well, I think my question would be, Heather, what do you miss most about me? No, that's not it. I'm just kidding.
Oh, wait, because I can answer that.
Okay, what?
Do you remember, I think it was Colorado Springs. We were
I
at
was going to ask you, that was going to be my question. If you remember Colorado Springs and the carpet that was moving by itself.
The
So
carpet?
I'll explain. No.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, Troy.
That actually, that came up in the conversation as well. But we had
Sure.
this gentleman that worked for us. He'll go nameless, but he was just a really funny guy, and he was kind of quirky. And so we're in Colorado Springs for I think it was the district or the convention, but anyway, or a trade show.
I think it was
So,
Comfort Tech, back when Comfort Tech
oh, it
had
might have been Comfort Tech, but so we were after the convention or after the show that night. We went and had dinner, and then we're sitting in this lounge area having a couple drinks, and we get up to leave to go to our room, and they were rolling up. You know how at the end of the convention they roll up the carpets, right? So they're rolling up this carpet, and the guy that's with us looks and he goes, "Oh my God." He goes, "That carpet is moving." And he was dead serious. And we look at him, we're like, "They're rolling it up." And he goes, "Oh, thank God. I thought it was rolling on its own." It's like, what is.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yes, Colorado. It was a great time.
Colorado. And the gas station, I think, was that same trip where we went in and I got a candy bar or something, and the guy behind the counter, I said to you, you were like, "Oh, I'll get it," or something, and I said, "Oh, thanks." And he goes, "Yeah, get your daughter a candy bar."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes
That
sense.
makes
Yeah,
perfect
we were going to drive up to Pikes Peak, or we were going to see something. Yeah, and he says, "That's nice of you to buy your daughter a candy bar." She
You're
loved
so
that.
That
sweet.
was
She
hilarious.
loved that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we should have started the show, right there. All right, Chad.
All right. So let's say that you were to open your own air conditioning business tomorrow. What would be your very first PR move?
Tell the local media that I'm open for business.
All right. And after the
Now,
grand
I would
opening,
issue a press release and tell them why I did it, how I'm different, and what people, maybe some tips
okay.
for people to know and understand if they need a new unit, when they do, how to maintain it, all of that stuff.
Okay. And a follow-up question is, I mean, if you got to be, I mean, this has to be consistent. You can't just do this once and twice and that's it. So what do you think the easiest thing to do to stay in the game, to stay in the PR, stay in the public face? What do you think the easiest thing to do is just every once a month?
Um, Once a month, figure out what you have going on. If there's any weather events that you could be an expert, talk about flooding, talk about tips, preparation for your home, anything like that. And then just reach out and have coffee with a local journalist. A lot of times they're busy, but they are looking for sources. So if you can get in front of them and explain what you do and what you can talk about, that would be a really good start.
And if any of our viewers or listeners just don't have that type of foresight in their wheelhouse, that's where you come in. Is that right?
Yes, we can put together a year-long strategy or 6 months or whatever they're comfortable with to get their name out.
Great information.
You think Chad would be good on TV as to represent his business?
I do.
Does he
He
have
looks
the look?
professional. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh, I had a button undone here.
Let's get that on then.
I even got my other unbuttoned undone. Still look professional. How about that?
Absolutely.
All right, Marissa.
Okay, so I'm just nosy because I know earlier you said in your career that when you were working for some agencies, they just anyone kind of as a client. Was this like the most like odd company or kind of client that you had to work for, and where you're like, oh wow, let me think about how we're gonna go about this.
Good question, and fortunately, I don't remember the name, but it was a franchise.
Fortunately.
I don't remember the name. It'll come to me after, but I wouldn't say it anyway. No, it was a casket franchise brand who wanted to be in malls, shopping malls.
Oh wow, that's so odd.
That is odd.
Yeah, okay, now I'm gonna have to go to the mall and just seeing that.
It's like,
I
yeah.
know.
Hey, listen, I'm going to run to Penny's and pick up some shorts. Oh, and I'm going to stop and get a casket for Dad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
They sell them at Costco now. They got them over there.
Do they?
Yeah. Or Sam's Club, one of the
Yeah.
two. Yeah.
Okay. And then I do have another question. So just kind of ask everyone on the show, what is your favorite tool?
Hmm.
Tool. It could be for jujitsu. Is there jujitsu
Yeah.
tools?
My favorite tool, I don't know what it's called. It's a yard tool, and it's kind of like a small electric chainsaw that I use to trim like bushes and stuff like that.
Hedge trimmer.
Okay.
Hedge trimmer.
Yeah.
Hedge trimmer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are fun. I like that.
Yeah. Satisfying too, if you get it right.
Kind of like
Yeah.
a Edward Scissorhands
Yeah.
with electric.
Yeah.
Chad loves hard work.
I do. And,
Yeah.
trimming the hedges, it's very satisfying if you know when to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go too far, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a
Fun.
bad haircut where your bangs keep getting higher. Okay, so I don't know, I don't want this to be a trick question or anything, but I'm just curious, so of the brands that are out there today, are there any that you're working with or not working with that you just go, yeah, these guys get it. They're crushing PR branding.
I have not seen any recently that really stand out. Over the years, though, I always watch for people doing things differently. Um, there were some junk removal franchises that really were doing a lot in the PR space, and I thought that was cool. Um,
Oh.
there's so much more that people could do in the home service franchise space with garage doors or anything. Lawn care. Um, even with some of our clients, they tend to be a little bit on the conservative side. So we're not doing anything like truly spectacular or big, but that's not always what moves the needle. It's just keeping your
Yeah.
name out there on a consistent basis. So, I would think that we're doing a good job with our franchise clients, but nobody out there is like, wow, oh gosh,
Yeah.
look at
Well, there
them.
you go. That means there's a lot of opportunity,
There you
right?
go.
I mean,
Mhm.
Blue sky.
you shed light on me on stuff that I've known, I know, but I don't think that there's enough attention put on it because I think everybody wants to talk about SEO or talk about PPC or
Yeah.
whatever, right? Social media stuff all day long, and this just it's always at least in my case, and I'm guilty of it, more of an afterthought than a first thing, right? So And I can't thank you enough for spending some time with us and talking about it. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was
So
fun.
you're awesome.
Yes, you are.
Jim, way better than Jim said you would be. I'm just kidding. And I
No,
appreciate what's that?
I was going to say what I said, Troy, was if she's sober, she'll be great. But it's just hard to catch her sober.
It is.
No, I didn't
That's-
say that, Heather.
Yeah, middle of the day on a Wednesday. There you go. All right. So any last thoughts or anything you want to just say or add about you or your company before we go, Heather?
Yeah, actually one thing we didn't talk about. I have a book, Next Level Now.
Oh,
I saw that.
This
Yeah.
was published in 2021, and I just last year got my rights back and self-published it. So I updated it, but this is written for contractors, teaching them how to do PR in their market.
Next
So-
level now. Okay.
Next Level Now. It's on Amazon. And
very cool.
yeah, that's my favorite tool. I should have said that was my favorite.
Yeah, it's no problem.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought it out. I saw it on your LinkedIn page and I'm glad you brought it up. So very good. Okay.
Yeah,
And if
go get
anybody
it.
wants to reach you, just go to go to ripleypr.com and you'll probably show up first. If we chat GPT best
I
PR
hope so.
firm.
We've been working on it. So
There you go. All
do
right.
some
That's the test for
searches
today.
and see.
All right. Well, thank you, Heather. It was a real pleasure talking to you, and we'll be reaching out to you about some other things here personally too. So
Okay,
it's awesome.
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great
All right.
seeing you, Heather.
Here for Heather. Thank you, Heather. Yay.
Heather.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Hang on.